Previously on The Real Forex Trader.
We're going to go abseiling off of this bridge and abseil down with no experience and controlling how fast we fall ourselves.
The time was scary. It wasn't scary. Yeah, lads, up the path. I'm telling you, it's in this tree. Yeah, got it! I got it! Right down the letters as it goes. What do we have? A?
2S on a C.
We should just give them all for 30 seconds. How long would 30 seconds be?
2 minutes.
Why have you got 4? You just said 6.
Just a mediocre performance from everybody, including myself.
Oh, good effort!
We have a winner!
Yeah, $1, maybe pound dollar.
So we've just got back from the Peak District and we've asked everyone involved in the challenges to write down who they thought was the strongest and who they thought was the weakest from their team. And exactly why. Let's see what these guys are going to say.
Let's go Richard first. So Richard goes, the weakest in our team was Alexander. He faded out at the conversations and it was obvious we had lost the challenge over the crossing in the river. No real motivation to get it done, regardless, in good time. And I could see how he was chatting to Andrew a few times whilst the rest of us was trying to get on with it. Andrew also showed willing early on but faded away in his input, but he did get one of the clues correct, and for this I give him 6.5. Lee was prepared to try and lead and put the effort in. He gave me good help to get, he gave me good help, like he's talking like he was in front as the leader. But I don't think he was confusing everybody. So he goes, I give Lee a 7, that's what he said.
Alexander and Andrew was the 2 I put down. I mean, none of us were perfect for sure. But when we did the final challenge, going over, making the lashings and everything, I kind of looked around a couple of times and I could see these guys were kind of chatting a little bit. Even though we'd lost, other guys were kind of cheering. I still wanted to finish it. Cayman was in the water, Lee was up doing his thing, I was up on there, and I felt like some of the guys had kind of stepped away from it, and that was the only thing, to be honest, because they did good things as well, so it was really tough, looking for a reason.
Me, I give an 8. I made mistakes with navigation, tried to use Google search for a while, wasn't told not to, didn't work. I also tried to lead on occasion, rightly or wrongly, and I was prepared to endanger my knee to help the team and make up time. I think he's playing on it quite a bit, isn't he, as well?
I was a little bit worried, and obviously I have some issues with the knee, so I mean I was a bit concerned about I was going to overdo that, but I was struggling. I probably did way more than I probably should have done, for sure.
Bradley, I gave 7.5. It's close. That's interesting. Close with Lee, but he found the bag. That's true, actually. He did find the bag, which is probably an important fact that I've overseen. Cayman, I give a 9, slightly higher at the top as he jumped in that river and wanted to get us back into the challenge, real team play and willing to take anything. I agree, I think he was the strongest on that team. He did navigation, he pushed through on absolutely everything.
So Cayman's definitely through?
Yeah. I have considered my top 2 are my housemates, as I'm sure you will, but still went this way as I'm being honest on my opinion. I'm disappointed we didn't run the other team closer, as it was clear once we got to the river we would have been faster. So he scored the 2 people he's living with on his team the highest. Cayman understandably, Travis arguably Arguably not, maybe.
I did think came in, he was in that war, he was keen, he was willing. I thought Travis stepped forward. I think he did a lot of the final location of the bag to actually go over the river. And for me, they did slightly better on the rest.
Alex is on this. Wait, what am I reading right now? This is actually making me down. Andrew 10 because he is short. Bradley 9 because he is tall. Cayman 8 because he speaks loud. Chayman 7, he is big. Chavez 5 laughs a lot. Lee's too quiet through me because I want to say, from my point of view, I don't think there is someone strongest or the weakest. So he's voted himself to those.
Maybe just get him to come in now and just clarify what the fuck he's on about.
These are my votes. I'm sorry for my stupid reasons, but I just don't know them strong enough to be honest and clear.
He's got a bear. Mate, you can't even guide. What is that?
I think we call him in. Let's call him in. Maybe turn that over. Your descriptions are very strange. So the task was, what you have to do is you have to score the people in your team. Why? Who's the strongest? And why? Who's the weakest and why? So maybe it's a language barrier, but who contributed?
No, I understand. The thing is that, honestly, I just don't know them.
But everyone else.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone else has managed to do it there, Alex.
I just thought that there would be, as I have to do it because it's the challenge and I have to point at someone alone to take the biggest
You
score.
voted yourself
Yeah, you said
as the weakest.
Oh, it's the weakest.
You've put 3. You.
Yeah.
3. So you have to score out of 10. 1 the worst, 10 the best, and you have to say why. But you can't say because he is short. I'm short, but I'm not weak.
It's just the stupid reasons because honestly, we
guy-
all deserve to be in the next stage, and I don't know. I know that it's a challenge.
Okay, so you've got to ask yourself: are you here for you or are you here for them?
No, I'm here for me.
Okay, so what I need you to do then is I need you to go back to your desk and I want you to write properly why. Because being short is not a reason. Look at the guys that was with us. They are Royal Marines and he was smaller than me. So being short is not a reason to...
Yeah, exactly.
I just messed all the way around. I thought that we have to rank to the person who is the weakest with the most of votes. So that's what I did. I give 10 points to Andrew, but after that when I talked to Spam and said, you're saying that Andrew was the strongest one. Well, it's all the way around, so I had to redo my questionnaire.
It was just because I don't know who is the weakest, who is the strongest.
But surely when you was doing the task, you were thinking this guy's doing this really good, or this guy is doing it really bad, or this guy's not contributing, or this guy didn't help put the winch up when I wanted to cross the river, or this guy didn't want to put a helmet on, or this guy just stood there and talked.
Yeah, I understand that.
So you was there the whole day, so you should be able to go through.
I thought just with the scoring it was enough and just giving out like any answers that I can do, so that's what I did. I will modify that, alright.
Alright, brilliant, thank you. If I was to say right now, by getting to know him, I would say that he probably wants it more than other people. He was the only guy, mate, that I've never seen it. Imagine you just like lost someone that just died, yeah? Everyone in the car was fucking sleeping on this guy.
He does really want this, and that came across in the interview.
And he sat there in the car the whole way home, just like this. Mate, he was mortified.
I can't even sleep when when he was driving from Sheffield to here. Everybody was asleep, but I couldn't sleep. I don't know why. I was really tired, very tired, but I couldn't sleep. My head was going around with these challenge, and just the only thing that I just wanted to stay and be in the finals and win this challenge. That's what I want.
Guys, listen up a sec. Like, every one of you is really fucking wasting my time with this scoring. Like, you're either being too fucking nice to people or you're voting everyone the same. So I want you to literally spend 5 minutes. I've been in there for half an hour and you're all voting people the same scoring. If you do not sort this out, I'm just going to send it home. If you're voting people the same, I'm sending you home. So you've got 2 minutes to go through and go, am I doing this in the best way? Especially the people that are in the same house, yeah? It's funny that the people in the same house are voting the people in the house, the top. I'm not fucking stupid, yeah? So don't treat it that way. Be honest, this is an individual task, yeah? You're not here to make friends with people. You're not even gonna see these people in 3 or 4 weeks. So simply go back through it and go, have I done this the most honest way possible? There's no way that everyone is ranked the same on the day. It's just not the case, is it? No one's ranked the same. I'm shit at something, Elliot's good at something else. I'm happy to say that I'm shit at it. I'm not gonna be the same. I'm not gonna be an 8 out of 10. He's not gonna be an 8 out of 10 on the same task. It's virtually impossible to have the same ranking. So if you can go through and actually rank each person for the right reasons, and not just simple shit like he was weak. What does that even mean? He was weak. What, physically, mentally? Which part of the challenge? You need to be precise on this, yeah? It's hard enough as it is, and I don't want to send someone home that is in this room because all of you couldn't be bothered to actually score it properly, yeah? So let's just take 5 minutes and go through the scoring and make sure yourself you're 100% happy with what you've submitted. Not one person should be the same scoring unless you can justify it, okay? All right, let's go.
Didn't discuss it. Did not discuss with these guys. Did not once. Obviously there's some talk of that. We obviously are sharing a place and we are in the same house. And for me, I took that personal a little bit. I actually answered it truthfully.
No, the only thing we discussed is how uncomfortable we were having to vote someone off in the group because there was no specific person that did a lot worse than all the others. Everyone put in effort and sometimes they had different opportunities to show some strengths and weaknesses. So in a whole, we just talked about how uncomfortable it was to have to vote on somebody, but we didn't get together, we didn't discuss it, we didn't talk as a team about who we were going to vote off, of course not.
Because these guys, they're living together, there are 5 people in one house. I mean, it's obviously that they can discuss it, look, let's save ourselves and let's just vote for someone else to leave. It's normal because you want to stay in the challenge, you know, but I don't think it's fair to do it. So I don't think if they did it or not. I just thought in my opinion, because I was thinking a lot of things in my head, like how's it gonna vote, who's gonna vote, how I'm going to be in this vote process, you know. So yeah, I thought about it. This is how it looks like. I don't know if they did it purposely or it was just a coincidence, you know. So don't know. I actually don't know.
I can assure anyone watching this that no, we didn't gang up with them.
You're scoring. I need you to think long and hard about what you're doing because you're scoring yourself as the weakest.
Right.
Which means you're sending yourself home.
Right.
So do you want to send yourself home?
Of course you don't.
Okay, so you need to vote. Do you genuinely think you're the weakest person on that team?
No, but I just thought I was ill. Do you know what I mean? I could have done a lot better than I did, but I tried my hardest.
That's fine, but if you don't think yourself, this is what I'm talking about.
You don't think yourself is the weakest. You've voted yourself the weakest, which is the weak thing to do. Anyone else that's voted themselves as the weakest, if I go through one more person as the weakest, it's just going to make my life so much easier because I'll just send you home.
Yeah, I'll change it around then. Yeah, sorry, my bad. Yeah, you know you're not, mate, so...
Think about what you were doing before you were was in a competition then.
Try it.
You did it with Mark. First effort.
Strongest on my team. I put Callum. That was me personally. We were both running ahead. James done well, Matthew done well. Everyone, I thought the whole team done well. It was really hard to pick a worst because everyone worked well together. We all done really well. We found the bag. Christian guessed the code somehow. Do you know what I mean? So we done really well as a team.
For me, it's Christian, because Christian, it's like the type of guy, or he's a leader for physical stuff. He looks really like that, and I like this type of guy for physical activity. So for me, that was Christian. The weakest for me, it's Callum, because he never took the lead, and I don't have a lot of highlight with Callum for this challenge. So that's why I think it's a weakness on the weakest on the team.
I personally think Richie was the strongest. He has a bad knee. He put a lot of effort getting up and down that hill, running to the next location. When we got to the slack lines, he was up in the tree. He was ratcheting it all together and getting it all sorted for us. So I do think that he put in quite a bit of effort, and I think he was our strongest team. And then next to that was Cayman, just because he got in the water and sorted it all out. The weakest, I think, was between Alex and possibly Bradley, only because I didn't remember a specific thing that each of them did that contributed very different than the rest of us. That being said, though, they both put in great effort and did a great job.
Well, that was a painful process, trying to just get scoring done. So we're going to go through, and this is in your words, of who's the strongest and who's the weakest, and why. So we've got the two strongest on here. Team A, the two strongest is Cayman and Bradley Dickinson. So congrats, it was the strongest. That was ranked by your team for navigation, helping at the start, and for getting in the water, crossing the river, having a hands-on approach of actually jumping and doing it. In second place for strongest on Team A was Bradley Dickinson. So you got voted as one of the strongest, and that was for the 3 words at the start, which, you know, didn't give you the 30 seconds issue. Also, along with Andrew helping out on that as well with the 3 words. So Bradley was voted as one of the strongest. Weakest, we've got in first place, we've actually got Richie, and in second on the weakest side there, we've got Alex. Richie, for being overpowering, confusing, and overthinking from your team. Alex, for being too reserved, unable to follow instructions, and not get too involved.
I feel a lot of pressure right now because, well, he was obviously, I was named on the vote, so of course I feel pressure.
It did quite surprise me based on, yeah, I made mistakes and I hold up my hands, but I was prepared to lead. I was prepared to try, and even bear in mind I was running there, I was one of the ones saying, let's try to make up time, even with the knee. And yeah, I did feel that I could look in at other guys and say, well, was I below you? And they clearly, there's quite a few obviously felt that. But the reasoning for me, they said I was overbearing and everything. I was listening. I mean, you're only overbearing if you don't listen to people. So
I believe he put in a lot of effort and helped us a lot with those slack lines. I think what people were more referring to was his energy toward the group when he was trying to get everything solved and sorted. So as an effort, physically, and what he contributed to the actual activities, I think he did great.
So I think there was a bit where he got carried away and led us through the tunnel, but then he redeemed himself back at the water. So I wouldn't say he was the weakest, because you can't, all right, he had a weak point, but he had a very strong point as well. If it wasn't for him, I don't think we would have got through the water part of the challenge.
So Team B, strongest, we have got James. Second strongest, we've got Christian. James, for going through the codes and going through that side of things, organising the group well. Second strongest, we've got Christian. For initiative with the lock, took lead when the team were clueless. That's how you guys have worded it. Weakest, they're pretty much the same on the weak side. We've got Callum, didn't contribute until the end. 2, we've got Nifty, struggled with the hill, didn't lead well at all. Time wasters on the scoring to be bearing in mind going forward. Farhad, taking photos. Don't need to take photos of your scoring, just write it on Telegram. Lee, scoring everyone the same. Alex, for weird reasons on the scorings. And Bradley, for ranking yourself the lowest. All right, understand? Okay, so we now know where we stand, on who's the weakest, who's the strongest. I'm not sending anyone home yet. We've got another task to do today. is you've got between now and 3 p.m. We're going to give you a stock. You are going to present to us why we should be buying or selling that stock. So that decision of what you want to do is down to you. So you're going to be presenting to us. We've already chosen who's going to be presenting, we've chosen your teams, and we've chosen a stock for you to make your life really easy, yeah? So team 1, Cayman, Callum, Bradley Dickinson, James Turner. Team 2, Lee, Alex and Christian. Team 3, Richard, Farhad and Nifty. Team 4 is Travis, Bradley Jones, Matthew and Andrew. So team 1, your stock is Boohoo, okay? Callum, you're presenting. Team 2, you also have Boohoo, and Lee is presenting. Team 3, Nifty is presenting, and your stock is what we call Jupiter Fund Management. Team 4, you also have Jupiter Fund Management, and Andrew is presenting. So you've got between now and 3 p.m. Let's go. We didn't send anybody home because we want to see exactly what they're capable of doing in the trading room. So let's see how they put together a stock report. We know these guys have got no or little experience in trading stocks. So it's going to be really interesting for us to see what they value and what they dislike. And that's going to ultimately decide whether they buy or sell. Overall, when we look at their presentation skills, how are they holding themselves? Are they confident in what they've actually written down? Let's just see how this goes and what information they bring forward.
Right. I've got a laptop, haven't you? I've got a laptop. You've got a laptop. Yeah. How do you want to do it? PowerPoint, Word, or should we do separate? Well, that's Callum.
Yeah, he's presenting it, so you might want to do it on his Mac.
So you might want to... PowerPoint. Okay. Well, you might even ask us questions about the weaknesses of the stock, just to make sure. Yeah. We need to find
Story, provision, background,
everything. Find out what it's doing in previous years to come as well, because it can show you, you can work it out, that PE ratio, shows you within 1 year to 5 years how the company was planning on doing.
Yeah, so exactly. That as well. A sort of table, tableau.
Oh, the timeline?
Timeline,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's get on this then and we'll get started.
So we don't have to like rush, but I think we just split things up in the beginning. Someone focus on one thing that we can all present kind of to each other, and then we can formulate like an actual organized whatever. So that way at least like he's talked to us, we can explain things well so that he can just kind of have a conversation with the audience.
Try to present it out. Yeah. So this is the stock at the moment. If we look on the, what would you normally do? Would you just
pull up? I don't know the ticker for Boo. Let me see if I can find the ticker on my phone.
I also have the income statement, the cash flow as well, balance sheet, growth rates, everything here. I don't know what's going on.
This doesn't even show. It doesn't even, it's on the FTSE. I was going to say it doesn't even show up on Finviz, so it's obviously not too big of a company.
I think we're going to have plenty of good stuff here. It's just a case of start working on it, and maybe dropping a few things, get a bit more precise. And, rather than a big waffle. Yeah. Okay. We're kind of duplicating a little bit. We're all into the history of the company, so we've now decided I'm going to keep going with the history side of it. Farhad's quite good at the technicals based on it's a buy or sell right now. And dividends and revenues and all that, Nifty's going to take care of that, so we've all divided it up a little bit now.
Of the earnings, we might be able to sort of find out if there's unusual or something, like a quick way to find out the intrinsic value of the stock.
Yeah. Can you do that? Can you grab that?
Yeah.
So let's break out what it's going to be. Where so obviously intro. What is the company?
Sort of like the name of the company and the history. Of the company.
Yeah, that's stability.
Then history of the stock.
History of
sort
the stock.
Like when news has been released, how did it affect the stock's price?
We need to find out why it's dropped so much as well.
We're going to buy Boohoo. We've decided we buy
long term playing it. Not rush it. I'm not going to rush it. Send them in there. Then it'd be wrong.
To have 2 hours on a stock to know if you're buying or selling, just like that. You know, you want to put some information, do some research before you make your decisions as well.
Where's that on your evaluation at the end? That's the one.
I think we just in case you get the PowerPoint ready. No. So we can call it a watch list with buy potentials
could
there.
be in the buy
with
potential,
confirmation.
That's what I would say. According to the technical and fundamental, basically
So
supporting the buy and
to
sell.
2 weeks from now, it could be a definite buy with confirmation.
That's it. We gonna. I mean, it's not 100% buying because technical is not really supporting it right now. But fundamentals agrees with basically what they call it.
So for us, probably watch list at least. Definitely the buy potential's there, but we're looking for a little bit more confirmation. So we would probably say hold for now.
The decision at the minute, what we would do is probably sell at the minute. We would look for a continuation in an uptrend.
Yep.
So if you will hold this stock for a year, well then you'll be laughing because it'll double in size. Boohoo has just invested in a warehouse in London, and all the companies that are going through Boohoo, like Pretty Little Thing, who else? Burton, Debenhams, Dorothy Perkins, Oasis, Karen Millen. So with all of this revenue that's going to go through, we predict that it will actually go up to, what level were we looking at there?
150.
150.
Yeah, more or less 150. But on the short term, I think it's a downtrend right now. So we wouldn't be shorting it at this moment because it's already down. But we're looking actually to buy it just on the support level on 150.
We would think that it will come down to these previous lows.
Yeah, it touched 3 times.
But I think with a swift return to the upside, because since 2016 it just got stronger and stronger and stronger. COVID hit, but it's sharply recovered by managing to sell, what was it, face masks?
Face masks and just
the rest of the clothing brands that they've had going through the company. So it's going from strength to strength, and strong financials could mean that the stock could potentially see an increase in value in the long term.
Good presentation, good team. At this moment, we are in a 2 position, potentially in a short term buy and long term sell.
Matthew and I focused a lot on the PowerPoint presentation, and him and I communicated together because he has a little bit of language barrier, so him and I worked together on what we're going to place on the PowerPoint mostly, and just gathering general information while the gentlemen grabbed the rest of the information like the financials.
I'm going to talk to you about Jupiter and fund management. Pre-tax profit rose to 57 million.
That was out of my comfort zone. I'm not good with stocks whatsoever. I have more experience with Forex. And there's a lot of moving parts when it comes to stocks and deciding on if it's a good investment or not. I think it was a great learning experience from Sam and Elliot to teach us some things that they look for toward investing in a stock, and I hope there's other opportunities to learn more. But like on the presentation itself, it looked good, but I don't think our information was as accurate as it should have been.
We didn't spend enough time on the presentation part of me knowing what I need to talk about. We left it to the last minute, which I think let me down, let the whole team down. I think we spent more time on the PowerPoint, how the PowerPoint looked, and I think some of the information we spent too much time on same parts of the information. I think that's what let us down.
I own a few stocks myself, so I found it okay, but in the time frame we didn't get enough information. We didn't look into debt and all these other things. We found some good info, but it was a good challenge. It was a good challenge, and I think we did get some good information together within the 2 hours we had, but a lot more could have been done and more research.
Okay, so task completed. So we're taking into account what happened today, what happened yesterday. You've got one more challenge, which is your most important challenge. No one's going home today. Challenge starts tomorrow. It's the most important challenge that you've got. Challenge tomorrow, it's going to be the same teams. It looks like Friday tomorrow is what we're going to be calling Purge Day, which more than one person will be going home. So we haven't moved people per day going home. I think we've been fair in giving everyone as many chances as we possibly can to show their skill set. So tomorrow is a big challenge. Those teams that you have will be staying the same. You'll all be trading a live account tomorrow. So in your teams, you're going to be trading a 10K live account each, which means that we've got $40,000 on the line between everyone. Does anyone know what tomorrow is? So you guys are going to be doing the non-farm payroll challenge. One person is going to come up with the trade, decision, and reasoning. Okay? They must have a plan for both outcomes. Better than expected data, worse than expected data, which we need by 11 a.m. Because you're trading live money, I want to know what your plan is. The second person is responsible for the risk management, lot size calculation, targets, and stop losses. Yeah? And the final person, if you're on a team of 3, is for execution. So you have to place the trade on the charts and manage the entry, and obviously if you have a plan to exit, or you've been given a stop loss from the people that have made it in the risk management team, you'll be putting your stop loss and your target on there as per they've told you. Does that make sense? Do we have any questions? Let's go then. You'll be given your live accounts tomorrow.
So guys, you've seen these guys getting involved in trading. If you think you have what it takes to be a trader, then in the description, click the link to get involved in our $100,000 trading challenge. It's 100% free, and you've got the upside of winning a live trading account with us. Best of luck, and see you soon.
I agree. The fact that we have these right here, these lower highs, and it just breaks this low, and now it's just retesting that.
So in this challenge, there's $40,000 on the line, and these guys are going to be trading it. It's split across 4 different teams, and they each have $10,000. This challenge, we're calling it the non-farm payroll trading challenge. We had to split these guys into different teams. Everybody's at the moment playing the blame game, and it's very hard to find individuals that are becoming responsible for their task. So we've made this very specific so we know who's responsible for every action. So we split them into teams. They are trading a live account. This is very serious. They're trading the busiest news release that they can, which is NFP. So they've had to split them into different task groups. So there is one individual in the group that is creating the plan. So what is the strategy of how they're going to trade non-farm payrolls, okay? The second person is doing the risk management. So the lot size calculation, working out where to put their stop loss and their take profit. And then finally, the person that is executing. So this person is to execute the trade plan, execute the risk management down to the T. Therefore, we've managed to get every single individual responsible for one section of the overall challenge. This way, when it goes right or it goes wrong, we can literally find out who's responsible for the issue and where it went wrong or where it went right. So it's going to be a busy one. I expect stress levels to be high. This is probably the first time that they've traded live money. They are trading $10,000 and they're probably risking in the region of $100 to $250 on the trade. So it's going to be the first time there is risk on.
And then this goes to drop because US dollar comes through better for NFT. Yeah, we're marking it up. We're finding the best opportunities for both to buy and to sell. And then we have the other gentleman, he's working on just the risk, which is just going to be the stop loss and the lot size and the take profit areas. And then Andrew's working on the actual execution of the order. So he's going to be placing the trade and managing the trade throughout the NFP news and see what happens.
Trading NFP is never easy, but we've got 2 lovely trades, a buy opportunity and a sell opportunity. So we're just going to wait for the results and take it from there, really.
Yeah. We're going to trade GBP USD. I'm looking for a short. I like to follow technicals over fundamentals, but as most of us know, NFP just carries a lot of volume, so technicals doesn't always come into play. But I think that the overall structure on the daily with a nice support break and retest, and then if you go down to a smaller time frame on the H1, H4, it looks like a nice head and shoulders with a trend line break and moving averages. So it just looks really, really good for a sell, which also makes you have to tread lightly. because everyone's probably looking at the same thing. But the sell looks really good in my opinion.
Me and Travis deciding what direction we believe it's going to go. With NFP, you can never really tell. The previous results are a bit choppy, all over the place. So we're going to wait until the news actually comes out before we take a trade.
The trade idea is going to be mine.
I'm executing the trades, and when we get in, when we get out. And I do the risk management and the lot size.
I'm going to write it out here, and I'm going to put a text on TradingView as well. So we've got it's on the screen as well.
Yeah. I'm the one placing the trade, and we've decided to trail the stop loss to around break even, so that's my role today. I've never really traded before, never traded a live account, so it's going to be a new experience for me, but with the right risk to reward. You can't lose too much anyway, so it's not too bad, but it's all a learning curve for me, and I'm really excited to get stuck in with it today. It's going to be the first day trading live money. I can't wait.
I'm in charge of the take profit, stop loss, and the risk. I'm not going to risk more than 2% on this trade because there is a news announcement, and we are trading with 10,000, so our risk is 200. We are looking for a 1 to 2 risk reward, so we're hoping to double the money and make 4% in this trade. But win or lose, as long as the plan is there and we stick to our risk, I think we're on a good track.
My task was to work out the plan, so we're going to wait for the news to be released first before we put any positions on. Expected is 500,000 jobs created last month. If it's better than expected, we'd expect a downwards trend. If it's worse than expected, we'd expect an upwards trend, and we'd wait until then before we place any positions.
I'm the bowl. They think I'm the bowl. There's two of us doing the trade, so I'm just looking at technicals, looking at some key levels, and trying to see at what levels we would potentially get in at, and just going over some sort of candlestick patterns for buy or sell signals.
If you think I don't know anything, sat down, he starts saying blah blah blah. I was like, hey. And he made the 3% in 2 winning trades.
Definitely.
Oh, lots.
No, we weren't like you had the trend lines and they hit perfectly. It was like ding ding.
Have you ever traded before?
No, that's what he says. No, mate.
He's the mole. I can't wait for it. Can we put money on it?
They put him in the house for this, or is that?
Yeah, he's like an insider over here.
Huh? You thought it was me? Well, with handwriting like that. The close this, you can't see.
Just cancel the take profit. Just move your stop loss down, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. You just come here and just cancel take profit.
Yeah. And once the price is down, just move this line down. Just keep moving it.
You can't do it now.
Really? Yeah, you can do it now.
But yeah, but just follow it. As it keeps going down and making structures, put it underneath structure. I'll be executing risk management, put my man Lee here in a position to succeed. And that's it. I think all together we're a good team. We've all performed in our roles and all just trying to help each other out, honestly, and just get the win.
Alex and I are doing our absolute best to put Lee in as good of a position to trade, the best pair possible with proper risk management, to put him in a position where we think that genuinely he will succeed. And with Lee, we know a lot of it's going to be emotional, controlling that aspect of it. Staying calm, being able to execute the plan, and come out successful, whether the trade goes right or goes wrong, to stay within the parameters and to not risk, not lose too much if that's how it goes, but to profit, and to profit as much as we want to profit and hit the actual take profit and just manage the trade properly.
Well, there's a little bit of pressure because you don't know which direction it's going to go, because we're going to trade gold and it's sort of sitting in a consolidation period at the moment. And with the NFP news coming out, it can shoot up or it can shoot down.
I'm making decision on which trade we're going to take based on the non-farm news that comes out after
Scenarios, because for me it's like every day is like your last day, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what's gonna be like, and it's really hard. It's not like you sit in a home in front of YouTube and watching first and second series, you say like, well, I can do that, but no, it's not. Once you're here, it's totally different. It's completely different.
Good news in the corporate tax rules, but the sign off in the future.
1,000 and 1% in history?
I'm going to be the guy who decides about the money management stuff and where we're going to put stop loss and where we're going to put take profit. So I try now to explain my choice about the risk management, why 1% and why not 2 or more, and that's it. GBP USD on long or on sell. We are not sure if we're going to be long or if we're going to sell. That depends on the deviation of the NFP number.
If the result is negative, then we're going to buy cable. If it's positive, then we're going to sell cable.
The NFP, once the NFP result comes out, I will know when to put a trade in, how long to wait, looking for volatility, and then hopefully once there's a market, we can see the route of the market, where it's going, then I can execute the trade accordingly. There's a big responsibility. It's the final part of the group challenge, so we'll see how it goes. It's a bit of pressure because we've got all the information. It's just for me to execute it accordingly. So yeah, that's it. The final part.
Yeah, excited for the actual news to come out. I believe it's going to be better than expected and shock everyone, but we'll have to wait and see. Normally, a few days before you have ADP, unemployment, and that tends to correlate with NFP, and that ADP, non-farm employment change, coming better than expected on Thursday. So that normally correlates with NFP, so I'm hoping we have the same results as that. But it's a bit, it is a bit hit and miss. You can never really tell. I can't go off previous data because it's very choppy. It's all over the place. You can't really get an idea of where it's going to come. And even if it comes in better than expected, we've got a lovely buy opportunity as well. So we're looking at both directions, and we'll have to wait for it to actually plan out, because you tend to get a nice wick on NFP, which will trick a lot of people, get a lot of people trapped, and then it'll move in its intended direction. So that's what I'm going to wait for. That'll be our entry. I think it's the most difficult role personally, being the decider of what way it goes, but I guess really just waiting for the actual results to come out. So we'll have to wait and see.
Team 1 looks reasonable. So you're focusing on pound dollar. You're risking 2%, yeah? Okay. So Callum and James, you both did the trade plan? Okay. Comfortable, happy with it all?
Yeah.
Yeah, came in, you're executing, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're putting the stop loss, target, position size, everything on. Has Bradley given you the lot size and everything that you need?
No, yeah, we're calculating closer to the time.
Okay, calculate close to the time. Okay, cool. It's fine. Team 3, Richie, Farhad, Nifty. You're focusing on US dollar yen. You're risking 2% as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, this is everything, yeah?
Yeah.
Look, this is as serious as it gets. We're trading live money today. It's the biggest news release in the month. It's the most serious challenge we've got yet, so I'm going to be taking it very seriously because obviously we're risking money on every position, okay? Team 4, Travis, Bradley, Matthew, Andrew.
Yeah, so Bradley and I have the trade idea.
Yeah,
we focused on 2 options, both the buy and the sell for GU throughout this. And then Matthew was focusing on the risk. And stop and take profit positions, and then Andrew is focusing on the execution of the trade.
Okay, so Matthew, what risk are you doing?
1.5%.
1.5. Why 1.5?
I put some idea behind the 1.5 for explain myself.
Okay. Last video, How much are you looking to make? Risk to reward?
1.2. 142. Sorry.
Okay. Team 2. You guys are focusing on gold?
Yep.
Who wrote this?
Christian.
Did you come up with the title?
With
with the
title? Laughing or crying? Yeah, it's not a fucking joke, is it?
It's not a joke, it's a serious title.
Laughing or crying?
It has to do with...
If you manage to get the trade to come through, you'd be laughing at that, you'd be happy.
It's not, you don't put this shit on it. It's not a fucking joke, mate. People in fucking banks, if they're away from their desk for 30 seconds on an NFP day, they're nearly fucking fired. You're putting a title, laughing or crying, it's not even your money.
Sorry, it's based on place.
Yeah, but it's not based on anything. When the fuck would you ever put laughing or crying on a fucking bit of paper for a trade plan where you're risking 10,000 quid?
Next time on The Real Forex Trader.
Putting a title, laughing or crying, it's not even your money.
Sorry.
So let's make a plan then, laughing or crying. If you get your plan wrong, you've got two choices. You can cough up the money yourself out of it, or you can go home.
So guys, you've seen these guys getting involved in trading. If you think you have what it takes to be a trader, then in the description, click the link to get involved in our $100,000 trading challenge. It's 100% free, and you've got the upside of winning a live trading account with us. Best of luck, and see you soon.